We're here along the Murray River, another name, the old name, Milon Bilya, another name, Binjareb, and it's such a beautiful, beautiful place. We're up in Binjareb, up in the Marron, that Buja up in the hills from Pinjarra. And it's such a pleasure to be here, to sit here, and in the background to know that there's some water around and the winter time. So that's what I want to talk about. This winter, this Mukuru time, is when the coast down the hill would have been really, really flooded, and you would have had our mob coming up from that down on that coastal plain, that Swan coastal plain, and coming up here so that you get away from all that which would have been really wet, which would have been like a quagmire. And these days we see, we see signs of that, we see the remnants of that, because you've got all those paperbark trees, the bibbleborn, and they're like an indicator that tells us that in their time, over many thousands of years, they've stayed there and they've been constant. And that constant information that we see is that which tells us that the Murray River or Binjareb, that water used to spread out right across. The Serpentine River, the Wangambilya, the water used to spread right out across the plain as well. So that's what we know today. So winter time, our mob would have come up here to this area, the Binjareb Nyoongar near Binjareb, and people would have come here. People would have sat here. People would have camped here for, those few months of Mukuru, going into Jilba, and it's such a beautiful place that we can refer to. And what people would have taken into consideration would have been things like, what were the plants doing at that time? What did we notice? What were the animals doing at that time, that we observed? And that is all part of the cultural knowledge. It's like reading an open book of the land, the things that we see around us. And all that cultural knowledge is the way that we sustained our life, our living, to do with the spirit. And this river here, this is to do with the spirit. The Woggle, when the Woggle travelled up this way, and the Woggle and her children came up and created the main rivers and the little creeks and made the water flow, because that's what the Nyungar people, our ancestors, asked for way back in the day, in that the account, that creation beliefs of that creation deity, the Woggle, coming up this way and moving and pushing the dirt to this side and pushing the dirt to that side as it moved along and created this beautiful valley. That's our belief, how we see things and how we look at things and how they all fit together. So when people came here, they would have got some sand and they would have thrown it into the water, and they would have said, Waggle, ngalak jirpang, ngalak nija, nanok jinangin, saying to the Binjareb and to the Woggle, we are happy that we're here again. And when you have people coming here and staying here, they would have had access to fresh water. They would have had access to the Marrons here, some fish here as well, and also what you'd find around the place. The kangaroos, the yonga, the emus, the waich, the possum, the gummel would have sustained the life and lifestyle of all the mob that came up this way. Back, I'm talking whether it's 200 years ago, we still come up here. That's what we're doing now, having a look in this Mukuru time. It's such a beautiful place, and that time of Mukuru winter, and that time of when things started to happen, the animals, they were thinking about regenerating time before Jilba and Cambering, and that's what we hear, and that's what we see, and that's what we even taste in the air. We smell in the air as well as we think about those things. So, yeah.